Welcome back to the channel where we dissect the darkest corners of human psychology and expose the mechanics of toxic behavior. Today, we are walking straight into the fire of the most painful question a survivor ever asks: why wasn't I enough? You are here because you have felt the shattering blow of betrayal, not just once, but as a chronic, sickening pattern. You gave everything: your soul, your patience, your body, your future, and in return, you were met with a wandering eye and a secret life. This isn't just about infidelity, this is about a pathological addiction to the thrill of the new, a hunger that you could never satisfy. Let's set the scene, because I know exactly how it played out for you. In the beginning, they looked at you as if you were the only person in the universe, the missing puzzle piece they had been searching for their entire tragic life. They mirrored your deepest desires, they future-faked a destiny where the two of you were inseparable, and they swore that they had never felt this way about anyone else. It felt divine, didn't it? It felt like destiny. But what you didn't know was that this intense focus wasn't love, it was the focus of a predator securing a resource, and the clock was ticking the moment the conquest was complete. The tragedy of loving a narcissist is that you are falling in love with a mirage, while they are securing an appliance. You believed you were building a home, but they were merely setting up a stage where the actors are interchangeable. The moment you became real, the moment you had needs, flaws, or requested emotional intimacy, the fantasy cracked. For a healthy person, intimacy deepens with time. For a narcissist, familiarity breeds contempt. The safety of a committed relationship doesn't feel like comfort to them, it feels like suffocation, and their instinct is to claw their way out through betrayal. You likely blamed yourself. You looked in the mirror and analyzed your appearance. You questioned your intelligence, you wondered if you were too demanding or perhaps not exciting enough in the bedroom. You tore yourself apart trying to find the defect in you that made them stray. Stop that immediately. The defect was never in you. The reality is that you could have been the most perfect, beautiful, accommodating partner in the history of existence, and they still would have cheated. Why? Because you are dealing with a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. No amount of water you pour in will ever fill it. We need to talk about the concept of object constancy, because this is the psychological key to their infidelity. Healthy people can maintain an emotional bond with someone even when that person is not physically present or when they are frustrated with them. Narcissists lack this. If you are not gratifying them in this exact second, or if you are criticizing them, you cease to exist as a good object in their mind. You literally disappear emotionally. This creates a vacuum, a terrifying empty space that they must immediately fill with a new source of validation to prove they exist. This brings us to the nature of their addiction. They are not addicted to sex, and they are not addicted to love. They are addicted to duplicity. There is a rush of dopamine that floods the narcissistic brain when they are getting away with something. The act of deceiving you makes them feel powerful, smarter than you, and in control. It is a secret power trip. When they smile at you over dinner while texting a new supply under the table, they are getting high on the deception. It confirms their worldview, that they are the puppet master, and you are just a clueless string puppet dancing to their tune. The betrayal is rarely impulsive, it is often calculated and compartmentalized. They can look you in the eye, tell you they love you, and an hour later be in bed with a stranger. This ability to switch masks so effortlessly is what makes the discovery so traumatizing for the victim. It induces a state of psychological shock known as betrayal blindness. You cannot reconcile the person who held you last night with the monster who is discarding you today. This cognitive dissonance keeps you stuck, analyzing the details, trying to make sense of the senseless. You must understand that for the narcissist, people are not individuals with souls, they are functions. You are an appliance, like a toaster or a microwave. When the toaster works, they use it. If the toaster breaks or becomes boring, they don't fix it, they go to the store and buy a new one, but they might keep the old one in the garage just in case. They view cheating not as a moral failing, but as logistical management of their emotional needs. They feel entitled to as many sources of supply as necessary to regulate their fragile, broken self-esteem. The most chilling part of this dynamic is that they often groom the next victim while you are sleeping right beside them. They use your resources, your house, your money, your car, to facilitate the courtship of the new supply. This level of parasitism is hard for a compassionate person to comprehend. It feels evil because it is devoid of empathy. They do not care about the pain they are causing you because, in their solipsistic reality, your pain is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is their immediate gratification and the avoidance of their inner void. So, as we move into the deeper psychological breakdown, I want you to prepare yourself. We are going to strip away the excuses. We are going to stop calling it a mistake or a lapse in judgment. We are going to look at the machinery of the narcissist's mind to understand why one partner is never, ever enough. It is not because you are lacking, it is because they are internally dead, and they are using other people's bodies and hearts to try and jumpstart a soul that simply isn't there. Buckle up, because the truth is going to be brutal, but it will set you free. To understand the cheating, you have to look into the abyss of the narcissistic false self. The narcissist has no core identity. They are a construct, a flimsy shield built to hide a deep-seated sense of shame and inadequacy. Because they have no internal generator of self-worth, they must siphon it from the outside world. You, as the primary partner, are the main fuel source. But here is the catch: fuel burns out. The validation you give them eventually becomes stale. It becomes expected. They stop getting the dopamine hit from your adoration because they feel they already own you. This is where the concept of the novelty bias kicks in. The narcissist is essentially a boredom-intolerant child in an adult's body. They crave the new. The new supply offers a reflection of themselves that is flawless, because the new supply hasn't seen the mask slip yet. The new person mirrors back the narcissist's grandeur, believing the fake persona is real. This fresh reflection makes the narcissist feel like a god again. You, on the other hand, know the truth. You've seen them depressed, angry, or broke. Your reflection is too realistic, and they hate reality. Cheating serves as a powerful dominant signal for them. In their twisted hierarchy, the person who cares less holds the power. By cheating, they are proving to themselves that they do not need you. It is a defense mechanism against the fear of engulfment. Paradoxically, the more you love them and the closer you try to get, the more they feel the need to betray you to re-establish their autonomy. They cheat to create distance. It is a way of saying, I am not yours, I belong to no one, and everyone belongs to me. We also cannot ignore the role of triangulation. The narcissist feels most alive when they are the prize being fought over. By having multiple partners, secret or known, they create a triangle where they are at the apex. This makes them feel desirable and superior. They might even subtly drop hints about the other person to make you jealous, knowing that your anxiety feeds their ego. They are extracting energy from both sides, the excitement of the new supply and the desperate, anxious attachment of the old supply. It is an energy harvest. Deep down, the narcissist is plagued by a chronic, gnawing emptiness. This is not just loneliness, it is a terrifying void where a personality should be. When they are alone or with a partner who has become routine, the silence of that void becomes deafening. Cheating is a distraction. The chaos, the drama, the hiding, the lying, it all creates noise. It keeps their mind busy so they don't have to face the fact that they are fundamentally unhappy and incapable of genuine connection. The affair is a drug used to numb the pain of their own existence. Let's analyze their relationship with objectification. A narcissist does not see a partner as a human being with rights and feelings. They see a collection of parts: status, sex, money, service. If one partner provides stability but the sex has become routine, they don't work on the sex, they outsource it. They compartmentalize their life. Partner A is for domestic service and image. Partner B is for sexual excitement. Partner C is for ego stroking at work. They feel entitled to piecemeal their life because they view themselves as too complex to be satisfied by just one simple human. There is also a sadistic component to this for many malignant narcissists. This is the dark truth that is hard to swallow. Some of them actually enjoy the fact that they are hurting you. It gives them a sense of godlike control to know that they have the power to destroy your emotional reality without you even knowing it. The duper's delight, that smirk you see when they think they've fooled you, is real. They get a thrill from sleeping with someone else and then coming home to kiss you, laughing internally at your ignorance. It validates their superiority. The discard phase is often preempted by cheating. They rarely leave a relationship without a vine to swing to. They are emotional cowards who cannot stand to be alone for even a second. The cheating is their insurance policy. They are testing the waters with the new supply to see if it is viable before they drop you. This is why the breakup often feels so sudden and brutal to you, while they seem to move on instantly. They didn't move on instantly, they had been moving on for months while lying to your face. You must realize that their love is transactional. In the beginning, they love what you do for them. When you stop functioning perfectly, or when they simply get bored of the transaction, the contract is null and void in their mind. They don't feel the need to inform you that the contract has ended, they just open a new contract elsewhere. Their morality is situational. If it feels good to them, it is right. If you try to stop them, you are controlling and abusive. They rewrite reality to justify their betrayal every single time. This chapter of their psychology proves that you are fighting a losing battle. You cannot love them out of this. You cannot be sexy enough to stop this. You cannot cook enough, earn enough, or submit enough to change their biological wiring for novelty and validation. The problem is structural. It is woven into the very fabric of their personality disorder. They are a bottomless pit, and throwing your heart into it will never, ever fill it up. It will only leave you empty. Now, let's talk about the turning point, the moment the intuition hits you like a freight train. You notice the phone is always face down. The passwords have changed. Their schedule becomes vague, filled with late meetings and mysterious errands. But more than that, you feel the coldness. The person who used to bombard you with texts is now annoyed by your presence. This is the devaluation stage, and it is the direct result of their focus shifting to the new target. The energy that was once directed at you is now being siphoned off to groom the replacement. When you confront them, the reaction is never remorse, it is rage. This is the pivotal moment where you see the real them. A normal partner, if accused, might be hurt or defensive but would try to reassure you. A narcissist attacks. They will flip the script instantly. You are crazy. You are so insecure. You are suffocating me. They will project their own behavior onto you, accusing you of cheating or being untrustworthy. This is DAVO, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. They turn your valid suspicion into a crime against them. This phase is designed to make you question your sanity. This is gaslighting in its purest, most destructive form. They will look you in the eyes, with tears streaming down their face, and swear on their mother's life that they are faithful, all while the text from their lover is buzzing in their pocket. The cognitive dissonance this causes is physically painful. Your gut is screaming danger, but your heart wants to believe the lie because the truth is too devastating to bear. They know this, and they exploit your hope to keep you in line. The turning point intensifies when you find the proof. Maybe it's a receipt, a message, or a photo. The moment you present this evidence, the mask falls completely. You expect a breakdown, an apology, a plea for forgiveness. Instead, you get a blank stare. Or worse, a shrug. Well, if you hadn't been so nagging, I wouldn't have had to do this. They justify the betrayal by blaming your behavior. They rewrite history to paint the relationship as terrible for years, claiming they were forced to seek comfort elsewhere. At this stage, the narcissist often begins to triangulate openly. They stop hiding the new supply to punish you. They might compare you to others. Why can't you be more like her? Or he understands me in ways you never could. This is psychological torture. They are weaponizing their infidelity to destroy your self-esteem so completely that you won't have the strength to leave. They want you broken, submissive, and competing for their scraps. They want to be the sultan of a harem where everyone is fighting for their attention. The power dynamic has now shifted entirely. In the beginning, they chased you. Now, you are chasing them, begging for basic respect, begging for the truth. They feed on this desperation. It makes them feel omnipotent. The more you cry, the colder they get. It is as if your pain disgusts them. This is because your pain demands empathy, and they have none to give. Your suffering is just an annoyance that gets in the way of their fantasy life with the new person. You might try to win them back. This is a fatal mistake. You try to be the cool girl or the forgiving husband. You let things slide. You accept the open relationship or the break they suggest. You are bargaining with a terrorist. By accepting the disrespect, you are telling them that you have no boundaries. This only accelerates their loss of respect for you. They don't love you for staying, they despise you for it. To them, your forgiveness looks like weakness. The turning point is also where the smear campaign begins. Before you even know the relationship is over, they have already told everyone, their friends, your friends, maybe even your family, that you are the crazy one. That you are abusive. That you drove them away. They are setting the narrative so that when the breakup happens, they look like the victim who finally escaped, and the new supply looks like the savior who rescued them. It is a preemptive strike on your reputation. During this time, the narcissist is living a double life that fuels their grandiosity. They feel like a spy in a movie. They are managing two worlds, and the stress of it doesn't wear them down, it exhilarates them. They feel smarter than everyone else. But eventually, the logistical house of cards begins to wobble. The lies get too big. The stories don't add up. The pressure mounts, not because they feel guilty, but because they are afraid of being exposed as a fraud. This chapter ends with the realization that the person you loved does not exist. You are in a relationship with a parasite that has moved on to a new host, but hasn't quite let go of your blood supply yet. They are keeping you on the shelf, breadcrumbing you with just enough hope to keep you attached, while they give the main course to someone else. The turning point is the death of your innocence. You now know that evil, banal, selfish, indifferent evil, is sleeping in your bed. The collapse happens when you finally stop playing the game. You stop reacting. You stop crying. You start setting boundaries or you kick them out. This causes a narcissistic injury. When they realize they can no longer control you or fool you, they panic. But it's not a panic born of love, it's a panic of resource management. They are losing a source of supply. Their reaction will be swift and brutal. This is the discard. It is rarely a clean break, it is an amputation without anesthesia. They will leave you with a cruelty that is breathtaking. They might ghost you after 10 years of marriage. They might serve you divorce papers at work. They might move the new partner into your house the day you move out. The message is clear, you meant nothing. They want to erase you. Erasing you helps them maintain the delusion that they did nothing wrong. If you don't exist, the betrayal doesn't exist. They wipe the slate clean to protect their fragile ego from the weight of their own actions. Following the discard, you will witness the honeymoon phase with the new supply. This is the hardest part for many survivors to watch. They will post pictures on social media looking happier than they ever were with you. They will do the things with the new person that they refuse to do with you. This is curated propaganda. It is a performance piece designed to hurt you and convince the world that you were the problem. Do not be fooled. The new supply is just the new victim who hasn't been devalued yet. The clock is ticking for them too. The consequences for the narcissist, however, are inevitable even if you don't see them immediately. Their life is a cycle of destruction. They leave a trail of broken hearts, confused children, and financial ruin behind them. They never build anything lasting, they only consume. As they age, the charm fades. The looks fade. The ability to attract high-quality supply diminishes. They often end up alone, bitter, and angry at the world, blaming everyone else for their bad luck, never realizing they are the architect of their own misery. But in the immediate aftermath, you are left in the wreckage. You are dealing with CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. You have flashbacks, nightmares, and intrusive thoughts. You ruminate on the details of the cheating. Did they do it in our bed? Did they tell her the same jokes? This is your brain trying to process a reality that defies logic. You are trying to apply human logic to non-human behavior. It will never make sense because it is irrational and pathological. You might feel a desperate urge for closure. You want to sit them down and ask why? You want them to admit what they did. You will never get this. A narcissist will never give you closure because closure requires honesty and empathy. If you try to force a conversation, they will only gaslight you further. They will leave you with more questions than answers. Closure is a gift you must give yourself by accepting that they are incapable of truth. The social fallout can be devastating. Because of the smear campaign, you might lose mutual friends. People often choose the path of least resistance. They believe the charming liar over the emotional, traumatized victim. This isolation is part of the abuse. It makes you feel like you are screaming into a void. But let the fake friends go. The trash is taking itself out. Anyone who believes the narcissist's lies without asking for your side was never truly your friend to begin with. Financially and legally, the collapse is often a war zone. If you are divorcing a narcissist who cheated, expect a scorched earth policy. They will hide assets, lie to judges, and use the children as pawns. They do not care about the well-being of the kids, they care about winning. They view the legal battle as a final competition to prove their dominance. They are willing to burn the whole house down just to rule over the ashes. Internally, the narcissist is not happy, despite the smile in the photos. They are running. They are running from the shame, running from the boredom, running from themselves. The new relationship is already doomed because it is built on the foundation of a lie. The new partner is unknowingly sleeping with an enemy who will eventually turn on them just as they turned on you. The cycle is a prison, and the narcissist is the lifer who holds the key but refuses to unlock the door. You must understand that their cheating was never about your inadequacy, it was about their instability. You were a collateral damage in their lifelong war against their own emptiness. The collapse of the relationship is not your failure, it is your escape. You have been expelled from a cult of one. The pain you feel now is the pain of a limb waking up after being cut off from circulation for years. It hurts, but it means the blood is flowing again. It means you are alive. We have reached the final truth, and I need you to listen closely. The narcissist will never change. There is no magical combination of words, no amount of love, no therapy session that will install a conscience into a human being who lacks one. They are addicted to the hunt, and you are looking for a home. These two goals are incompatible. The cheating is not a symptom of a bad marriage, it is a symptom of a disordered character. As long as they breathe, they will seek validation from multiple sources. It is their oxygen. You are mourning the death of a potential. You are grieving the future you thought you had. That is valid. Cry, scream, hit a pillow. But do not confuse the potential with the reality. The reality is the person who lied to your face. The reality is the person who put your sexual health at risk without a second thought. The reality is the person who looked at your pain and felt nothing. That is who they are. Believe the behavior, not the apology. Behavior is the only truth. Radical acceptance is your superpower. Accept that they are a broken mechanism. Accept that you were scammed. It doesn't mean you were stupid, it means you were trusting. Trust is a beautiful human quality, but it is dangerous when given to a predator. You don't need to understand the complex circuitry of a bomb to know that you need to get away from it before it explodes again. You don't need to analyze their childhood trauma to know that they are unsafe for your soul. The most powerful thing you can do is to go no contact. Silence is the only language they understand because it denies them supply. When you block them, when you refuse to engage, when you become a gray rock, you are taking your power back. You are starving the beast. They might try to hoover, sucking you back in with promises of change, but this is just another cycle of the addiction. Do not open the door. The vampire cannot enter unless you invite them in. Your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Just because a blind person cannot see the sun doesn't mean the sun isn't shining. The narcissist's inability to be faithful is a statement about their brokenness, not your desirability. You are enough. You have always been enough. The fact that you stayed loyal, that you tried, that you loved deeply, that is proof of your high value. Do not let a person with no integrity define your worth. Recovery is a slow burn. It involves rebuilding your identity from the ground up. It means rediscovering what you like, what you want, and who you are outside of the shadow of their control. It means learning to trust your intuition again. That gut feeling you ignored? That was your guardian angel. Listen to it next time. Sharpen your discernment. You are now armed with the secret knowledge of how these predators operate. You are not a victim anymore, You are a survivor with a map of the minefield. One day, you will look back at this and realize that the discard was a blessing. It felt like a curse, but it was the universe forcing you out of a burning building that you refused to leave. You are free now. Free from the lies, free from the walking on eggshells, free from the constant anxiety of who are they texting. The peace you will find on the other side of this is worth every ounce of pain you are feeling right now. Let them have the new supply. Let them have the fake life. It is all a hollow shell. You get to keep your soul. You get to keep your empathy. You get to heal and eventually find a love that is safe, reciprocal, and honest. Real love does not hide. Real love does not triangulate. Real love does not make you feel like you are competing for a spot on the roster. You deserve the real thing, and you will never find it while holding onto a fake. So, dry your eyes, stand up straight, and close the door on this chapter of your life. Do not look back. There is nothing there for you but smoke and mirrors. You have survived the psychological war zone. You have looked the devil in the eye and lived to tell the tale. Wear your scars like armor. They are proof that you are stronger than the things that tried to break you. Remember this, one partner is never enough for a narcissist because they are never enough for themselves. They are running a race they can never win, chasing a ghost they can never catch. But you? You don't have to run anymore. You are whole. You are real. And you are free. Stay strong, stay no contact, and keep walking toward the light.